Okay, it is now 11:51 p.m. Daylight Saving Time, Eastern Daylight Saving Time on Thursday, March 25th, 2015. This is Apibal. This is a post regarding the concept of calling upon the moon or a familiar for guidance or protection. I guess I'm naming this topic PowerWordMagick, Dragon and the Moon. Now this is something that I don't exactly know how it works. It's just something that I found myself to be able to do for several years now. Now, of course, I have had these weird experiences ever since I was young. I just never knew what it was. And of course, never had an environment where it fostered my abilities. I chose to think that it was just me thinking, like, things happen when I think it. Like when I was like in 3rd grade, I could call upon a whirlwind, and then I just thought the whirlwind just kind of appeared at the same time I thought it. But now where I'm at, I realize that I do have these abilities. So it is something, I guess, that I'm exploring and developing, I suppose. I'm still struggling with the idea of my life, like as in my human desire, party life, and going on this journey of newfound dimension. It's kind of like this book that Justin was reading today. Like, once you cross over to this new dimension, there is no going back. Once you see all these things, once you have contact these entities, there's no going back. Now, I didn't ask for it, of course. I don't think. They just appeared. So today I went to Arcadia with Justin. It was nice. Got to relax and read my book, and he read his. It's nice to be back there in a sober mindset. Now while I was there, now this is my other concept about mental obsession and the whole concept of there are entities, so we're not really sure how to call them, just okay, underworld entities that have these, that they are around us, but we just couldn't really see them. Although I believe that from my message is that my ability to see them or cross over to different dimensions will come back. Like, I would have the ability to command it. But anyway, basically they would kind of like the whole concept of being possessed. But this is more like they insert these thoughts into us. Sexual. Sexual energy is something that they feed upon. So they would insert these sexual energies. Now, not to go into the whole concept of, thoughts being basically splitting yourself or your soul body into different dimensions instead of combining into one dimension. I was basically being overtaken by it, and I was just sitting in the car, and Justin was, he said, well, he's just gonna go sit by the lake and he's gonna read his book. So I said, well, I'm just gonna sit here in the car because I was not feeling okay. So I did my prayer. Basically, I prayed to God. I did a lot of prayer to God. And I was praying for, these thoughts to be removed. I was also praying for my mental shield, energy shield, psychic shield to be raised up and to prevent these entities from inserting thoughts into my head. I think it was around 1:30 when I was doing my prayer. or 1:40. I don't really know. And then I was sitting in the car, and then all of a sudden I noticed the moon, the crescent moon, appeared. I was like, what? Because I had a conversation with my dad yesterday about me, like, I have experiences of where when I need help, the moon would appear for me. And I was like directly in the open spot too. That's my picture. I took a picture of it, of course, after I saw. Let me get to what I saw. But basically, I was sitting in this spot in the car, and then the moon appeared right between the open space of the trees. And oh, that's interesting. So I was just like, oh. I mean, I felt better. So I just kind of closed my eyes and just lay in my car for a while. And then this door to the bathroom, which is in the pictures, like it's that bungalow bathroom, slammed shut with like the wind just blew and slammed the door shut. Bam! So I looked up, and when I looked up, I saw this thing flying by the moon. But I see a trail of cloud-like. And I see its wingspan, like really big wingspan cloud. And it's like, okay, that looks like something flying. It was flying halfway around the moon because it was flying downward and it was flying down and then disappear into behind the tree. I was like, that's interesting. I've never seen that before in this life cycle. And to me, my intuition tells me that it is a familiar. Like the word came into my head that is a familiar. Or like if I looked at the picture too, like on the left side, there is some kind of like a trail. It looks like a comet trail, but it's like actually cloud. Yeah. So I was like, well, okay, that did not feel like a bird, like a phoenix, you know. That does not feel like a phoenix. And I've been like seeing dragons, and dragons have been coming to my life since January. Like seeing them a lot in my visions. And so it felt like it was a dragon. Like I felt like a dragon. I mean, it looks like a dragon with that big wingspan. So it goes into the whole idea that, okay, the ability to call familiars, because I could do, like, I have done that with dogs and cats, you know. And, oh, I don't know why, but for the past month, this month, like since the last week of January, black crows have been following me everywhere I go. Like I hear them crow around me, or I see them flying around me, or I see them like standing at the tree looking at me. Anyway, but yeah, right. So it felt like after I saw that, when like it transferred this energy to me, and I felt good. I felt relieved, and I felt better. But then when we drove back to the ranch at around 3 maybe, because we were just like I felt better. I finally got out and sit with Justin by the river. We're just talking. He was reading the book, like reading it out loud to me. But then we went right to the ranch around 3. The mental obsessions of wanting to get high and all that shit comes back more intense, like intensified. And of course at first I was lazy and I wasn't really thinking about it, so I didn't really do my prayer. And then Justin just left me alone, and I was doing like a deep prayer, like a deep one, to like remove it and like, you know, all that. And then I felt this energy around me, around my torso, raise up. Oh, I forgot. When the dragon thing appeared, I felt something around my head. Like a big energy shield around my head. I can feel like some heaviness of energy shield around my head. Anyway, and then in the afternoon, when I did that prayer again, I felt this like big energy like vibrating around my torso, around my arm, and then of course it went away and got better. So I would say that today would be my first experience of calling upon a dimensional entity to appear into this dimension. I mean, of course, I've seen these entities before that walks around us, but I was in a heightened state through drugs this past several years. So now I'm working my way back to being able to do it without drugs. And today would be one of the other experience of that, and it's pretty cool that I was able to take a picture of it. And I was also thinking that if this continues, then maybe whatever this is that I saw, if it is a dragon, like how I feel, then I would probably be able to call it more when I need it. And not only that, it would probably take more physical form. Because right now it looks like it's kind of like a cannot take physical form yet, because it takes physical objects of a cloud-like substance. I've seen clouds-like substance as beings before many times. Usually there were demons and angels, but this is different entities. Now, if I were to be able to call them again in the future and keep working at it, although I don't know what I have to keep working at, because they just come by itself. So, and I would think that I might be able to see it in a more concrete physical form one day, maybe. And to me, this is just a way of a familiar letting itself known to me that it is one of my familiar. It appeared to me. And this would be beyond other familiar as like dogs or cats or bats. This is like a dimensional entity appearing for me in the sky. So I was also questioning a lot today about my human desire to still getting high, and that whole world of drugs and sex. But it's a struggle. It's also a sacrifice. I mean, it's a sacrifice that I'm willing to make. You know, I don't even have sex anymore. I don't masturbate anymore. And I know that it increases my abilities. And the question is like, a part of me that just want to like, God, why can't I just keep doing what I used to? But I can't anymore. It's just having to keep reminding myself that I can't anymore. There's a responsibility. This is a responsibility at hand. And if I were to fail my responsibility, then I fail my mission altogether. I fail God and I fail myself. But today, beyond the seeing a familiar, it was also a way of God pushing me closer to work closer with God. To always be reminded the importance of faith, the importance of prayer in times of need. I must work myself closer to God, to be one and completely with God, for me to accomplish my mission, for me to carry out my mission. Because how can I do it without God? How can I do it if I'm not pure? So this would be one of the preparation experience, I would say. More to be reviewed. This is Nattawat, Apibal. Dragon speed.